That you feel proud. Oh, I'm very good, man. I know philosophy. So the residents, the denizens of the material world in Satya Yuga, they had pride. That's no good. That's not. You cannot gain moksha. Moksha means, we'll talk about that. You cannot get liberation if you have the defect of pride, right? Yeah, that's logical. You cannot moksha. You cannot have if you have any defects. You have to be completely free of defects. What is? Forget the Sanskrit word. What is? Free of all material defects. But the bona fide spiritual master, he is as good as Krishna. He is so empowered that he can give liberation by giving instruction, and if anybody follows his instruction, they can get liberation. Even in Kali Yuga, even with a history of eating chickens, even anything. But they have to understand the mood and the mission of the spiritual master and follow it wholeheartedly. So in one lifetime they can achieve what yogis hope for after maybe hundreds of lives. And even they lose track of what the idea is of practice of yoga. And there are many instances of yogis, after lifetimes of practice, thousands of years, they fall down. Like Vishwamitra Muni. Yeah, he set up, got married and set up a business. So we have to understand actually the power of what we have. And this can be understood by somebody asked Prabhupada once, how do you measure spiritual strength? So this I remember it very easily, because he said with kartals. The word kartals is something like calipers. So I was used to using calipers. I still have calipers of different kinds. So how do you measure spiritual strength? With kartals, or by kartals. How somebody is playing the kartals, you can tell their spiritual strength. So you are puzzled? Why? That means you have not. Okay, yes, the rhythm, it's everything that we know, everything we do is very simple, but there's science behind it. Vibration, it all depends on vibration. When you play kartals, I have to show people who are supposed to be Hare Krishna devotees for 10 years, I have to show them how to hold the kartals, then how to play them. People don't know. That means they're not being properly guided. There has to be this Prabhupada called it sizzling. When you drop a spoon of batter on the tawa, it makes a sound, right? Sizzling. So it's a science. How to hold them, how to make that sizzling. You can't make sizzling sound if you clash them full, only on the edge. You have to play on the edge, and you have to dampen. Damping. You studied electronics, anybody? Yes? So many.
Yes.
What is it? Engineering, electronics and communications and engineers. So in electronics, you know what is damping. See? Dampening, yes? You forgot? Huh?
You forgot. We forgot.
You forgot. That's not good, because we play, you sizzle and then you dampen it by the thumb. See? You're dampening. You remember your electronics? Did you learn?
JNTU candidates.
Huh?
All are JNTU candidates.
JNTU.
The university where they just.
And you didn't learn it there?
No.
You went to JNTU and you didn't learn what is damping? I learned in grade 9, I think. 9. Because so somebody asked Prabhupada, you know, how this, what you're doing is so powerful, you know. So he said it's in the chanting. He's so humble, as if that simply by yes, I think it's not possible. If somebody plays kartals very perfectly, I think Krishna will reveal something to him gradually. By stop eating chickens. No. Gradually become purified. But Prabhupada, he gave answers so succinctly and even humorously, but so powerfully. He said, how have you done all this, Swamiji? He says, it's not my credit, it's all, the secret is all in the chanting. So chanting means playing kartals also, and how we sit, how you can't chant properly lying down. I think it's possible. And Prabhupada speaks of when there's proper chanting, then the natural inclination to dance arises, isn't it? You feel like dancing. I've told a story how one lady was walking with her son on the street, and the Rath Yatra came, and she started to dance, and the boy said, "Ma, what are you doing?" You know, because she was a devotee of past life, and immediately the chanting elicited her spiritual inclination, and she started to dance. So, the magic in the chanting. So people come to me now because I'm a used Rath dealer, and people come and say, "I want to borrow your Rath. I want to use your Rath," and I don't have to worry. They'll give some rupees after. I'm not worried about that. But I'm not going to give to anybody who doesn't know how to do kirtan, because improper kirtan destroys our spiritual position. I've quoted Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada who in turn was quoting the Brahmanda Purana. Improper kirtan destroys your spiritual position. So I'm not giving any routes to anybody, even if they...
Have you rejected so far, Prabhu?
Huh?
Have you rejected so far?
I've not encouraged, I've discouraged people by not showing any, giving them any encouragement in past. And that'll be my policy, continues, unless they approach me personally, and then I'll give them the answer. So if somebody wants to borrow a rat, let them demonstrate their kirtan. Let them send me some CD with some kirtan, or a link where I can hear their kirtan. If they don't know how to do kirtan, maybe out of sentiment or something. No, but based on this shastric statements, see, I'm thinking that it's always possible that somebody will arrive on the scene of that Ratha Yatra who knows how to do kirtan, and he'll join the kirtan. Like in my career, to tell you the truth, I had this idea that if you hold Ratha Yatra, then many devotees come, and out of them, it's likely, or hopefully, one of them will know how to lead proper kirtan, and therefore my efforts will be well taken, isn't it? That's my idea. So, I don't remember particularly, all the Ratha Yatras have some benefit, but I remember one Ratha Yatra where one of my godbrothers, a famous Sridhar Swami, he's no more, but he's a good kirtan leader. He came, this is in Ahmedabad in 1996 maybe, and it was during Mayapur festival or something. There were a lot of foreign devotees, and somehow there was dozens of Russians and Ukrainians and Chinese attending there for Ratha Yatra, and he led the kirtan, and it was wonderful, you see. Whereas other Ratha Yatras, nobody knew how to lead. I just felt, well, it's like there's some pious activity. I thought Krishna will be kind on me and not punish me for encouraging propagation of bad kirtan. I don't think there's any really bad kirtan, but mediocre kirtan is also not very satisfying to me. And once you have tasted sandesh, you don't care for anything else. So yeah. So that devotee, he should come and show me that he knows how to do kirtan.
This time we'll also...
Otherwise, if he flatters me enough, and then I might accede, but I would prefer to freely, happily let him use the rat based on evidence that they know how to do kirtan. They do proper kirtan.
This time we'll upload our kirtan.
Pardon?
We will upload our Rath Yatra Kirtan in YouTube.
We'll upload.
Yes.
Yeah. We can upload previous kirtans. We have videos. I'll inform you that somebody, I'll privately explain. Mm-hmm. But so Prabhupada's statement that the magic is in the chanting has different aspects, you see. How the kirtan acts on the individual and how the mass of people react. But we should always always be prepared to go out on kirtan and not allow material considerations to govern. That it's at night and this is a bad neighborhood and there's dogs and so many. We should not allow these things to influence. Influence us. There's some tissue there, a little pouch, or a small cloth. There's a small cloth there. So His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta, Srila Prabhupada has given the highest philosophy, and most comprehensively, but he has given the proper chanting, and this is everyone's position that they can take part. Even a child, some children, I don't know about this character, but even a child can take part and even lead kirtan if he. I told your daughter to lead kirtan at Rath Yatra a couple of years ago because I can see she has some musical sense and she chants very nicely. So it was very nice. Otherwise, so it's nice. I see as some of you are now leading kirtan in a better gradually in a better and better way as time goes on. That's very nice to see. So you should always think of how to perform kirtan publicly and engage people in hearing and taking part. This is the mission. Not that we have any qualification. We cannot. It's not like in the material world you can enter any hotel or any park by paying a fee. You cannot. Krishna owns everything. He doesn't need our offering of, what to speak of, paper money, even gold coins, will hardly satisfy him. But if he sees we are serious about spreading his name, then he becomes pleased. I've given the example long ago. I'll repeat that. If somebody is, if you're walking on the street, maybe a big street, and your name is, what is your name? Huh?
Nikila. Nikila.
Nikila. If you hear somebody, if you hear the sound from the other side of the street, Nikila, then immediately your head will turn, who has, everyone is pleased by hearing their name. So that's psychology. It's like our body is a representation of Krishna's form. Our psychology is the same. We are also, if we hear somebody saying our name, we become very interested. So we can attract Krishna by saying his name, because preferably not in anger or in envy. If we just recite his name, it works, you see. So we should appreciate that and try to make others aware of the benefit and the benefit of chanting. So, any questions or comments? It's called a Sankirtan Yagya. Why Yagya? Yaga means sacrifice. Sacrifice, because Vedic sacrifice, even Vedic sacrifice required personal sacrifice. Somebody, I don't know how society was organized at that time. Where did they get the gold for the vessels? Did they take a bank loan? Who had the gold in Satyayug? Who owned the gold? I think it was just lying there. You can go and take it. Yes? There's somewhere in the Bhagavatam, it describes that after a yajna, everybody got up and went to their respective places, and they left all the gold vessels and utensils, just left it lying there. So somebody else can come and collect it and polish it up and perform a yajna. So that is completely out of the picture now. Even some people have gold, but of course gold is pure, but their motive maybe is most often impure. They are hoarding the gold for personal gain or prestige. They decorate their daughter with lots of gold for her marriage, and then they take it and put it back in the bank, you see. It's just for prestige. So that kind of sacrifice is not recommended or not required in Kali Yuga. The recommended sacrifice is simply chanting. Okay? A very wonderful thing. And formerly you needed gold and ghee. Where's the ghee? You need quintals of ghee to perform a big sacrifice. Who can afford it now? And then you need priests. Where are the priests? They don't know how to recite the mantras. Their pronunciation is not correct. Their memory is imperfect. So you cannot do these yajnas. And then Dwapara Yuga, temple worship, you cannot do that also properly. There's temple worship also, you cut lots of gold and good quantities of ghee, and you need proper stapatiya vidya, and you need purity, and that's not there now. And the archakas say, no, don't chant, don't bow down. They're telling. In Yadgiri Gutta, they told them, don't bow down. They point to the picture, because they deliberately put the pictures for their purposes, to prevent people from bowing down. Why they keep pictures at the back of the darshan mandap? So the only sacrifice possible in Kali Yuga is this chanting. This is a sacrifice. So somebody says, well, what is sacrifice? Just saying Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna? Yes, thank you very much. Simply by chanting. Kirtanare Shri Krishna Mukta Sangha Param Rajat. This in Mahabharata it says. Kritya Dhyayam Jagya Jagneshetaya Dvapara Mukhaya Yatabnoti Tapnati Kalo Sankirtana Keshava. And in Mahabharata it says Maharaj Nimi is talking to, he says, Kalo, yeah, that's the same verse. Kali Yuga is the ocean of faults, but by one sacrifice one can cross over the ocean of faults. Simply, what is that? Chanting. So we should try to remember these principles and take part in Sankirtan, that is congregational chanting, as much as possible. Think always how to increase. Prabhupada instructed or approved devotees got some money and they bought one bus, then another bus, One Greyhound bus cost at that time a lot of money. Greyhound is a high-class bus. And they traveled and did. Boys became devotees on the spot. Hey, come on! They said, "What's going on?" He says, "Come on, get in. Give him prasad, and come on with us. We're going to the mall." And they all get out and chant, and the new person would also chant, and he would not go home. And then they'd go to where Prabhupada was, some temple, and bring the new person. And come on, and go in the bathroom and cut his hair, and then put him on a dhoti and bring him into Prabhupada. 10, 20 of them. And many of them went on to do, do tremendous service, distributing books and doing kirtan. This is the history. And it's very simple. What did they know? Some boy from a farm going to school in some town in the middle of nowhere in the United States, and this bus stops, and some fellows get out and sing something, and they come up to him and say, "Come on!" And he, see, even of course some of them, like a lot of them, I think. Default is that all of them became purified. Maybe one or two instances of someone being like the victim of some fanatical devotee, and who they cut his hair by trickery or something. Maybe that's there. I don't know. But they all got to be purified. I wasn't so much involved in that. In the West, I was mostly busy. I attended some programs, some kirtan in the road. Mostly I was busy building altars and vyasasans and things, only for 2 or 3 years. And then I came to India. But those who were in the West or still in the West, they have this history, the history of the traveling bus parties. They would come to a temple with their 3 buses, and next day they would leave, and half a dozen temple devotees were missing. They kidnapped them. It's going on because
Who kidnapped?
the traveling party, Radha Damodar, the leaders, they would, come on with us. What are you doing here? You're wasting your time, making peeling potatoes. This was going on. There's theft of devotees. I think I already asked for questions or comments, so we will end here.
Camera people. You say the camera people, Hare Krishna. Say Hare Krishna to the camera people.
Hare Krishna.